You know what time it is? It's Mama Yum Yum time.
A whole lot of laughing, a little bit of dishing. It's all right here in Mama Yum Yum's kitchen.
Hi, welcome back to Mama Yum Yum's kitchen. Today I have a special surprise for you as we dive headlong into the wonderful world of crepes. I'm going to be sharing with you an old family recipe that's been passed down from generation to generation. Which old family? Mama Yum Yum's old family. Here we go. A crepe is like a fashion model of the pancake world. It's thin and dressed to the hilt. Let's get started making the batter. I always start with the wet ingredients. Here is the water. We're not going to put all of it in there. We're going to put most of it in there, but leave about 1/4 of a cup so that you can adjust it and get just exactly the right consistency, which should be like heavy cream. We're putting in our milk. We're going to get our cute little egg here. And we're adding that. And I always add the vanilla and then mix it all up before we put in the dry ingredients. I have a nice little mixing bowl that has a little pouring spout on it that makes life a little bit easier for us. Once you have this all mixed up, you can start adding the dry ingredients. We'll start with our flour. And that's 1 cup of flour. And now we're going to add the baking powder. And that's a teaspoon of baking powder. And I freshly grated some wonderful, aromatic, wonderfully smelling orange zest. We're adding that to it. That really enhances the flavor. Let's mix that up real well. And then, once it's all mixed up, and you want to keep mixing until it's a consistency of a thick liquid, like I mentioned before, you want it to be like a cream. Then we take our nutmeg and we just have a few swipes at it, and it just brings out an extra little layer to our flavors. Mix it all up, and then you let it sit for about a half an hour or an hour before you cook the crepes, and then your crepes won't tear apart when you cook them. Although I must confess, if you're in a big hurry, go ahead and make them. Hate to keep crepes from anyone. And this is what our batter will look like. And that's about the right consistency, so I'm not going to add the extra water to it because we didn't need it. But if you find it's too thick, go ahead and put the extra water in. The pan has to be just the right heat, and then you add some oil and you add a little slice of butter to give it the yummy butter flavor. I put the crepe mixture into this handy container, and now I'm pouring it into our pan. And the secret of a good crepe is in the wrist action. So you want to carefully tilt your pan, being careful not to spill the oil and not to spill the butter, because that could really burn you. Once you have it in a nice circle, you let it cook. And it doesn't take too long. And you watch it carefully because you don't want to burn it. The temperature has to be a medium temperature so that it doesn't cook too fast, but it has to be hot enough so that it does cook. Now it's ready to be turned. You can tell when there are little bubbles on the top. So you want to carefully loosen the sides, get your spatula under it, and carefully flip it over. And look at that yummy brown goodness. If you have a little problem with the crepe here, you can always add a tiny bit more batter, and that repairs your crepe. And then you'll have to turn it over briefly and cook this side of it again. And then we're going to slide the crepe right onto our plate. Comes out all in one beautiful piece. Between crepes, you want to add a little bit more oil, and you want to add a tiny bit more butter. And you want to take it off the heat so that it doesn't overheat before you put your crepe batter in. As you're cooking your crepes, if you find the batter a bit too thick, just add a drop more water. Give it a good shake to mix it up. Problem solved. And now for the fun part. We're going to dress our naked crepes. We want to take one crepe and transfer it to the plate. And I have strawberries or peaches or blueberries or apples, which I've cooked in the microwave for 1 minute. Any of these make wonderful, wonderful crepes. So let's start with our strawberries. And you take them and you put them in a line, just like this. Add just a tiny bit of whipped cream, just for good measure, so that you have all the wonderful creaminess and the delicious flavor of the crepe. And perhaps some almonds. Let's sprinkle them right on top here. And you roll up your crepe, starting at the edge, just rolling it up. Once you have it all rolled, let's take a little bit of chocolate and let's drizzle it on the top. We're going for it today. And as soon as you have that done, you want to take a little bit of garnish. Here I have fresh mint plant, so we're going to use a few leaves from that. And we put a strawberry on top, so everybody will know that we have a strawberry crepe. And look how pretty that looks. You can do the same thing with your blueberries or your peaches or your apples. Now to top it off, a little bit of powdered sugar on top, and look how beautiful that is. Now you can also put Nutella, or you can put lemon curd, or lemon or orange marmalade inside of your crepe, where I put the whipped cream. Interestingly, crepes have made their way into our culture. For example, back in 1990, there was an episode of The Simpsons during their first season called The Crepes of Wrath. Well, hopefully your crepes won't be wrathful, and I hope you will find them like I do, delicious, delicious, delicious. Remember, crepes are yummy and good to share, so call your mama. She'll be right there.